Yeah, so when we look at the Veterans Affairs, there was I think they've gone through an intentional decision to try to find high quality products that are less expensive. And when there are opportunities to utilize biosimilars to do that, we see the Veterans Affairs being a significant advocate for biosimilar adoption. This is our third product where we've had the Veterans Affairs choose our biosimilar in a national solicitation. So this is a way for the VA to bring high quality products at a more affordable price to help them have significant savings and expand their resources beyond um, this treatment alone. Well, I think it's important to recognize that biosimilars are safe and effective options, and ones that are provide no clinically meaningful differences to the reference product. And so the VA has been a significant advocate of biosimilars from its infancy. 7 years ago when our first biosimilar entered the U.S. market, they preferred biosimilars where they can. And I think they go through a process where they look at price, they look at non-price attributes, elements about the profile, and they make an assessment what they think best suits kind of their needs in their system. So this is a great example of the private sector working with the public sector to improve drug affordability. The VA is one of our largest healthcare delivery systems in the U.S. that provides high quality care to nearly 9 million qualified veterans and their family members. And so this is an example in a marketplace like the Humira biosimilar market where we're seeing kind of large systems advocating for structural change that will help the biosimilar market form. And we think over time we're going to see more market segments across the U.S. act in the ways that the VA is acting. And so we're really excited about what this can be, both to the VA in terms of the savings it will provide without compromising care, as well as an early indicator of formation of this biosimilar market in the broader U.S. market. I think we need to be careful when we talk about the slowness of biosimilars in the US. I think there are molecules where they have been quite rapidly adopted. We can look at the anti-neoplastics in cancer as an example where we see biosimilar penetration rates equaling that of European countries. And so I do think there are examples where the biosimilar adoption has done quite well. There are other areas where biosimilar adoption perhaps has not done as well as what we see in the cancer therapies. And I think there's an opportunity for the US to better align incentives, ensuring patients are part of the value equation, which would be an incentive to utilize biosimilars, ensuring that prescribers are incented to use lower cost therapies would be another example. And just showing those who fund the benefit are realizing the competitive nature that drives savings in the market and perhaps choosing lower cost alternatives. I think when we start to align incentives in a more transparent way across the marketplace, I think you see a lot better adoption. We're at the early stages of the formation of the biosimilar market. I think we have 6 or 7 molecules in the US today, or they're subject to biosimilar competition. And when you look across the future state of biosimilars, about every 3 to 5 years, the market potential for biosimilars doubles. And that is a really interesting future state for what biosimilars can do. And the US market has been highly effective at using competition to increase affordability, particularly in the pharmaceutical space. And so when you look at what the future potential could be for biosimilars, and the United States as a market being a pro-competition market, it leads you to believe that over time, the biosimilars will be one of the solutions to help address the affordability in the US, both from the system perspective as well as patients. I think in general, I think there's a couple of things. Biosimilars are, as we talked about earlier, a market-based solution to help with the affordability. of specialty drugs in the US. And specifically about the Humira opportunity, I think there's a real opportunity for patients to be part of the savings. We have biosimilars that have chosen pricing strategies that are significantly less than the reference product, upwards of 85% in many cases. And in the US, many of our patients, their copays are subject to the list prices. And so this 85% reduction in list price could be an opportunity for many patients in the US to be part of the savings for biosimilars.